Now you have an idea of what you want to do in your story. So I'm gonna show you how I actually did it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in here and I need brown because my trees are brown. Okay. So I'm gonna pull out my brown, and this is the part where it is going to get messy. I hope that you don't have on any fancy clothes because it will get messy. So I'm going to pull out some brown. Okay. And you have your scissors. Now, you can... Okay. Wait a minute. Now, this is the part that's going to be challenging. Okay. So now you have your sketches. Okay. So I want you to be open to being flexible as you illustrate, because you're going to find that when you start to actually do it, you're going to find other elements that's going to come into play. Okay, so let's illustrate our scene. Now, please, this is where I want you to relax and just feel what it is that you want to do. It's no right or wrong. So now I'm starting my tree. Now I want you to have fun with this process because it's very relaxing. Maybe you could put on some music and just keep going, because you know what? If you think about a tree, trees look and have so many different shapes to them. One thing about this glue is repositionable glue. This is good because when you put your strips of color down, you can change it. Now I have my first book that I illustrated that's coming out next month in March, and I'm excited about that. And so now I just want you to see that I'm beginning my tree. Okay? Okay, so you're going to be ripping paper. You're going to be ripping paper, finding different shades of brown. So now I'm going to go back in and see if I can find any other shades of brown that would look good in my scene. Okay, so now I found some other. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to start creating your characters and your scenes, and you're going to be digging in to your files with all your different colors, and you're going to be trying to make your scene look the way you imagined it. And it doesn't have to be exactly the way you imagined it. I just want you to have fun. This is the whole point of it. So now I'm making my tree. And guess what? There's no right or wrong. Okay? So, but I want us to get back to our story for a minute. I want you to keep your story in the forefront of your mind all the time. So now I'm thinking about my background scene or the exposition in the beginning of the book. So now I imagine that my character is outside of his house and there's a tree. So that's the reason why I am. Now, maybe you put this in your brainstorm that there was a tree. That is why it is important to add that to your brainstorm. Because if you don't, guess what? You are not going to have this tree in your scene. Right? So now we're going to keep making our tree. I don't know that you are trying to get your work published. That's another conversation that we are not going to have because I do have several books published, and actually I wanted to share some of the ones. I actually have a journal that I published. I actually have a novella. I have 2 of these. And as I mentioned, a children's book. And I'm in the process of publishing another one. But, every publisher is going to have a different requirement. That is the reason why I can't really talk about that, because it's just not going to be specific. So now that we have the base of our tree started, how about we get started with some greenery. Okay. Remember all those magazine clippings? This is where they are going to come into handy. They're going to come in handy. And so I want you to know this is going to be a messy process. So hopefully you don't mind getting glue and paint everywhere, because it's going to be a messy process. So now, what do I want to do? I want to put some green leaves. Now, here's what I would say. You are going to... Okay, so remember what I said. You can cut them, or you can rip them. And you're going to see that your ripped collage paper is going to have a different effect. It's going to have a different effect than the ones you cut. So now what I want to do is I'm going to make some branches. Okay. Okay. So let's do that. Okay. I want you to see that this is the process where you build your story. Okay? Okay. So now, what are we going to do? Okay. All right. One thing that's great about this repositional glue is that you can pick up your work and just, put it back down and move it around. It's great. Okay. So now I'm making some branches for our tree. Now see, this is a perfect opportunity for me to say that I noticed that I don't have a lot of dark brown. I have mostly tan. And so next time you do your painting, do your collage prep work, you might realize that you might need a different color. Okay? So just be in tune with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out some leaves, but this time I'm going to cut them out. I'm going to cut them out, and I'm going to do it with scissors. Okay, because I really want them to look authentic. Okay? So, here we go. And I hope you're having fun. This should not be stressful. It should be relaxing. It should be relaxing. So now in this class, what you're going to do is, as you develop your story, whatever you want to write, you're going to do that, and you're going to actually incorporate your own illustrations in it. Now, I want you to know that in my book, Jordan Meets Songbird, that I used collage clippings, but I had to also use a little bit of digital art, because the reason I had to use digital art, which it turned out to be pretty good, is because there was an element that I did not think about when I did my brainstorm. That is the reason why it is important for you to try to think of everything that's in your story. Now, it's okay, because you won't be able to think of everything. It's just the way it is. So, but just so you know, if you can, try your best. Think of everything that you want to have in there. You won't have to go back and redo it. I had to actually go back and redo a scene because I hadn't put it down in my brainstorming notes. Okay, so now, okay, now we're getting our leaves on the tree. And so then you have to think about what time of year is it? Is it summer, spring, winter, fall? Right? Okay. So, okay. All right. Just be prepared for some messy fun. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So now we're going to put a few more leaves on here. Our tree is coming along. It's coming along nicely. You don't have to be so precise. Okay. Depending on what it is that you're going for, perhaps you want to illustrate some shapes. Maybe this is for young children and you could make your leaves in different shapes. It's your story, your way. Remember, that's what this is all about. Okay? All right. So now our tree is coming along. Now, it might be a good idea if you know you're going to be doing trees and leaves to cut out the little leaves ahead of time. Okay, so now here we are. I just wanted you to see where we were with our tree. And how about we go a little further and we put some grass down at the bottom of our tree. How about that? Let's try that. And then we'll be done with this illustration for now. Okay. All right. So one thing about this, I want you to have fun. Okay, and to be confident, to know that you can do it. Because it's fun. It's a lot of detail work, and I hope that you don't mind detail work because I don't. It makes your story look engaging. And remember, your audience. Who is your audience? What are they going to think about the illustration? That's really, really, really important. I mean, it's so important. So important. Okay. So now I'm just taking the green strips. I'm just putting them down here. It's going to be at the bottom of my tree. And like I said, these little magazine cutouts, they are super. They are super for collage. I mean, they're thin. They go on. It's like a dream. I just wanted you to see where we were and how it is shaping up. I'm going to put some more leaves on here. And I'm going to put some flowers. But I wanted to give you a little tip. I have scrapbooking paper with all kinds of designs already on them. And many of them have flowers. So with the illustration that I did here with my book, I don't know if you can see that these were from the scrapbooking paper. They already had flowers and designs, so I cut out some of them. I thought that would make our story so interesting, and it does. Look at that. These are from that. And this is from a magazine. And so that is from our scrapbooking paper. So your collage is going to have so many different elements in it. It's just going to make your story more interesting. Okay, so let's see where we are with our tree. Let's put a little bit more. Now, this is your collage, your way, so you can stop and make it as detailed as you want. That is the key. It's your collage. Okay? So, okay, so let's see what else we have. Okay. Now, this might be an area where you want to rip your paper down here with the grass. If you're doing grass, you may not need to snip it with scissors. It all depends on what you're going. We're going to stop right here, and one thing that I can say that I'm really enjoying collage so much that I really don't want to stop, but I have to stop. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now, this is one thing about collage you have to remember. It's changeable. You can lift it up. You can change it. It's not etched in stone. You can reposition things. And just have fun with it. Just have fun. So in this situation, so what I did was I used text boxes to incorporate inside of this, and I will show you that in a minute. Can you see that? And so because I know where each part of my story is supposed to line up from my brainstorm, I know where to add it. So my story, I added here in text boxes. It's just something for me to frame my story. It is not ready yet, but this is my practice book. This is practicing to see how I can make my story line up with my collage work. And I'm quite proud of what I'm doing. So I just wanted you to be encouraged to know that you can also do the same thing. Like I said, this is a practice book for me, but I wanted you to see how the illustrations can be added to text, or text can be added to illustration to tell your story your way. And so in this class, you're going to do just that. At the end of our course, you're going to have an assignment, and it could be whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a little children's book. It could be a poem that you want to illustrate, and the poem will go inside of your book or inside of the card. Okay, and it could be a newsletter. I want you to know, it doesn't matter what it is that you're writing, you can use collage art to illustrate your story your way. Thank you for being a part of this course, and I look forward to seeing what it is that you have created. Thank you.